All right. Welcome. It's Brian Forbes, your host of Inside Steppin. Y'all, we got a fire show today. It's sure to cause fireworks. Might step on some toes, might rub a few folks the wrong way, but I gotta expose the game today, y'all. I'm about to put it down, so y'all get ready for that. I see you, Val Wells, Burma Johnson, and Regina Freeman. So, y'all, it's about to go down. Here we go. All right, y'all. So listen, tonight we gonna talk about something that doesn't get talked about in the Steppers community openly quite enough. Now, needless to say, there's going to be some more sore toes when this is over. Of course, if it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. But one thing we know for sure, hit dogs, what they do, they holler, they scream, and they shout. So if we get any hit dogs, you already know what it is. Okay, but check this out, y'all. Let me give some clarity to what hit dogs mean. What does a hit dog will holler mean? A hit dog will holler refers to the idea that people offended by a certain idea or statement will be the ones most likely to react defensively or even aggressively to it. In fact, in some cases, if someone makes an accusation, the individual who reacts most vehemently is likely the most guilty of said accusation. In other words, their reaction can be constituted as an admission of guilt. All right, so with that said, let's get into it. Tonight, y'all, we're going to talk about dating and sex in the Steppers community, which actually is not much different than dating and sex in the rest of the world. I mean, let's, call it what it is. The only thing is that we're in such close proximity to one another and traveling all over the country and doing the things that we do in this game. This gets a little close, if you will. This is a partner dance, y'all. Let's, we all get together and we dance with one another. And some people refer to this as a 3-minute romance, so to speak. In other words, you have 3 minutes to enjoy the person that you've decided to share that space with. And this may seem intimate almost the way I'm describing it, but let's be real. We are sharing the space of an individual, non-sexually, of course, for a period of 3 to 5 minutes within a dance that gives us an opportunity to physically commingle. Not a bad thing. I enjoy it. However, some people use the Steppin community as a sort of a watering hole, a place from which they can pick and choose, a place to maybe even find love. I mean, let's face it, some people have actually met in the Steppers community and gotten married. Some people have, because of the Steppers community, well, let me take that back. I don't want to say because of the Steppers community, because putting it plainly, it's not because of the Steppers community, it's because of something in their household environment or whatever was going on with them that caused their relationship to fail. However, I've seen people come into this community, and as much as I've seen people fall in love and marry, I've seen people divorce as well. So there's the good and then there's the bad. Unfortunately, I think we have more bad than we do good, though. Of course, now, bad is relative. I guess it depends on how you view the things that go on, because some people are, quite frankly, willing victims, and there are predators. Sometimes when you dance with certain people, you have a certain chemistry, and I think that's a good thing. That they get an opportunity to be next to one another, and energy is a funny thing. We do transfer energy from one another, to and from one another, in this dance. And it's very much like if you meet somebody, what I'm saying, that you're cool with, doesn't matter what the sex of them is. Just, people, when you meet people and you vibe with them, it's kind of the same thing, except with this dance. How many times have we been on the floor and danced with somebody that just, their energy was just great, and y'all felt a connection, a vibe in the dance? I've had it happen, and I hope that you have too at some point, because, let's face it, it makes for a better dance. It makes, you just blend, you gel on the dance floor. Now, there are some people who keep it at, that was a good dance. Then there are others who take it to another level. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so dating in the Steppers community. One of the first things that comes to mind, and this takes me back to an event. I think we were at Black and Bling a few years ago, and Tika did a live show from there. And the question came up about dating in the Steppers community. And one of the main questions that I have yet, I guess, to get an answer to was, and not for lack of trying, what's too much? All right, so let's look at it like this. Let's say when two people meet on the Steppers community, and everybody at some point or another was new to this. The difference between, I think, people from Chicago and people who are not is that people from Chicago, I think this is something that escapes people that are not from Chicago, that this dance was very secondary to a lot of other things. So if people ended up connecting up during the dance, then, so be it. But at the same time, and this reminds me of when I used to be a part of, a motorcycle community. I'm still well connected into that, but let's look at it this way. As a person involved in that community, I used to see women all the time, and this is where the parallel comes in, who would come into the motorcycle community, and they were fascinated by the bikes. They were fascinated by all the guys, all the good looking dudes walking around. You got cats walking around with no shirts on, that kind of thing. And the women just, oh my God. And then they get on a motorcycle for the first time and lose their mind. And next thing you know, they want to be a part of the motorcycle community. Well, it's kind of the same thing with this dance. A lot of times people get into this dance, they get into this dance community, and they want to kick it and they want to hang out. And they're like, oh my God, all these women, all these men, and they're, like, yeah, I want to be a part of this. So they come into the community, right? But here's what they don't get warned about. The predatory element. Those guys who are looking at them like, ooh, look, fresh meat. And so, what? And some women, that's what I'm talking about. See, my producer over here, she always got to chime in. So they come into the community sort of unsuspecting. Some of them are more suspecting than others. But a lot of times they come into the community and they're not thinking that people are eyeballing them for the sake of, whatever. But there's a level of naivete that takes place in some of these people. Then again, there are those who are aware of these sorts of things, but then they're usually people with some experience. But the question is this. Let's say you're in the Steppers community and you meet somebody that you mad cool with. You're like, oh my God, I really like this person. Oh man. And the next thing you know, y'all hanging out, y'all kicking, and next thing you know what I'm saying, and things progress. Now, you got a whole thing going on. Y'all sleeping together, showing up to sets together. Everybody has noticed that you're an item. Okay, cool. But 6 months down the road, y'all fall out. Things ain't as beautiful as you thought they were. Okay, that's cool. So now you ain't with that person no more. But you love this dance. Oh my God, you love this dance. You're gonna keep dancing. So now you're gonna be seeing this person because they're gonna keep going to the sets. You're gonna keep seeing them at the sets. But then you meet somebody else, or somebody that you didn't even pay attention to at one point strikes your fancy. Oh, look, oh man, I never paid attention to this guy. Oh my God, we danced together. I loved it. It was great. And next thing you know, you and this person have talked on the phone. Y'all done kicked it. Y'all done hung out a little bit. Here we go again. So now you're dating this person. And I use the term dating loosely because I don't know. Nowadays, I don't know what the hell that term really entails because there's so much stuff going on, especially with social media. Some people consider themselves dating with a text message, which is beyond me. I don't even know. I don't understand how that even works. But now you got this second person in the Steppers community. Yeah, it's 6 months later, a year later. But y'all together, y'all kicking it, you're doing your thing, you're having a great time. And 3 months later, it falls apart. Damn, thought I had a good one. I thought this was good. Well, okay. But guess what? I'm going to keep going to the sets. And I'm going to hang out. And I'm going to see both my exes. And I'm going to kick it. But damn it. Oh boy just asked me for my number. Oh girl just tried to holler at me. Oh, okay, well, shoot, why not? I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm single. Boom, you're in it again. Now, at this point, the question comes up, do I keep dating people in the same circle? Or do I refrain from the potential that a person that's on this set could be my forever whoever? Do I pass them off simply because they're part of the Steppin world and I don't want to be in the Steppin world and keep dating people? Because now the real question comes up. How many is too many? How many different people do you date in the Steppers community, sleep with, whatever you want to call it, that people are openly aware of before people start getting it in their head? That person a hoe. Oh, she been with him, and that dude over there. And then they don't tell her who she was sleeping with in between. And same thing with the guys. Because I'm going to tell you, people talk. Some of y'all, the conversations ain't very good. It is unfortunate to me that I know more about some guys than I should. Real unfortunate. But that's what happens when you got a wife who talks a lot with her friends. Anyway, the point is, how many times does this go on until it gets to a point where you're labeled a hoe or a community dick? Yes, I said it. Community dick. What does it take? And don't get it twisted. I'm not even saying that you deliberately went out here and you chased down somebody and you was like, oh man, I gotta get with her, I gotta get with him, I gotta get with her. Nah, that's not what you did. What you did was you just simply and honestly were trying to find someone to share your space and your time and your life with. But you had 3 crashes and now you're on your 4th. And you know how people talk. Now, we can't care what people think. You know, that's one thing. We can, but we can't. But then at what point do you start feeling some kind of way about knowing that every set you go to, 3 of your exes are there, or at least 4 people you done slept with is there? Most time the guys don't care. They feel, you know, they put their chest out. Yeah, I had her, and her over there. Yeah, I'm good. But at what point do you have any kind of like, okay, where does it end? So anyway, with that said, I'm going to leave y'all with that question because there is no definitive answer, to be honest with you. There's no definitive answer to how many times you will be with somebody and what you care about it personally at any given point. Some people care, some people don't. What? Yes, and as my producer just said, people are grown. And yes, you're grown and you are welcome to do whatever you choose. And nobody should actually be, and to be honest with you, nobody is really in the position to judge anybody else. Because nowadays, let's face it, we live in a different society. People don't feel shame the way they used to. People don't care about being shamed. People don't care about what other people think. But on the other hand, if that were true, we wouldn't hear people make statements or use terms like community dick or she's a hoe. They just wouldn't do it. To each his own. I say we're grown. Do as you please. But we're going to get to some more stuff like that here shortly. And we're going to see how you feel about it then. I am excited when I see two people who connect in the steppers world and they are able to find love. I've seen it, and it is a beautiful thing. I think it's a wonderful thing when two people can connect and have this dance in common. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. However, on that same note, I have to also address the people who have come into this community and their marriages have dissolved because of it. And I use the term because of it loosely, only because usually there are other issues that are going on that the dance has absolutely nothing to do with. Let's be honest though, you guys, this dance does provide certain levels of access to people of the opposite sex, and in some cases the same sex. And with that, why are you laughing? With that being said, we have to be mindful that discipline is a thing that a lot of people don't care too much about anymore. There are those who are extremely disciplined. I know married men who come to the set who you do not see in women's faces. They come, they dance, they go home. I know married women who come to the set alone. They dance, they have a good time, they go home. I know single women who do the same thing. And it is a matter of self-respect, I guess, or deciding what's best for you, or actually caring what the rest of the world sees when they see you on the set. Reggie Mouse said he left the game because he got tired of messing around. All right, Reggie. You have some guys who are a part of this dance who are pretty new, and I'm talking about the sort of new guys now. I've seen a lot of men come into this dance that pick the dance up, and by being such a shortage of men, and I say that mainly nationally because locally in Chicago there's always plenty of men to dance with, but around the country men are not as quick to be acclimated to this dance as we are or were at home. And so with that said, for some men who come into this dance, it's like a smorgasbord. They come in and they see all of these different women, available women, some that are supposedly not available, who become available, and they run rampant. And they turn this thing into, a oasis, if you will. So, you sometimes have to wonder, because, and I went on a rant about this some time ago where I talked about the guys who come into this dance who really and truly never had as much access to women in their life. They learn this dance. This dance gives some men a level of swag they have never experienced, that they know nothing about. And suddenly they become a sex symbol damn near. Suddenly, some of these guys, all of a sudden, they see some of the other guys and they say, oh man, I got to get me a hat like that. I got to get me a suit like that. I got to rock them shoes like that. I got to get me some gaiters. And next thing you know, boom, they on the set and they doing their thing. And it's open season. Reese Turner says, oftentimes this is all some folks have, and they have all they've had that has provided an avenue of acceptance, and then they get caught up. And that is exactly my point. That's exactly what happens. It becomes a treadmill almost. And see, with much power comes much responsibility. And a lot of men do not understand the power that this dance often provides. My man Tony Bourne in the building, Devin Smith. I see you. Pamela Smith is here. Oh yeah, y'all checking in. I thank you. This dance provides access for some men who don't, frankly, know how to handle what that access means. They don't understand that most guys who have that swag, most guys who have that flavor, understand because they came up in the game. It's kind of like somebody earning $1 million the hard way and somebody being given $1 million because they hit the lottery. I guarantee you the man who earned his way knows how to keep his money. The man who was handed $1 million because of the lottery is going to be broke soon. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to women. A man who came up in the game properly knows how to handle his business when it comes to the ladies. And a man who suddenly came upon a little bit of swag because he learned how to count to 8 is going to be dangerous, not only to the people, but to himself, because he don't know how to handle that. See, that's one to grow on right there, y'all. It's a trip to watch, and I've watched it. You know, I've sat back and I've watched guys damn near self-destruct because they didn't know what to do with their newfound superpower, if you will. Yeah, y'all, it's a superpower. You know, y'all know swag is a superpower, like Wakanda forever. You got to know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Then you have the secret relationships. Dun, dun, dun. I wish I had a crystal ball some days and I'd be at a set and I could look at my crystal ball and it would draw lines between the people that are connected in that room. Could y'all imagine that? Could you imagine the stuff that goes on that we don't know about? The relationships that are going on that we're not aware of? The behind the scenes beefs that take place? And I promise you, there are many. But I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't tell you about none of them. And that's a good thing, because I really don't want to know, to be honest with you. Then we have, because I've heard that this is actually a thing, y'all do know, while we're talking about secret relationships, there are swingers among us. I'm just saying, yes, this is a thing. Yes, there are groups of individuals who get together and get it in. Why are you looking at me like that? See, this is what I have to deal with. See, the truth, it moves people in funny ways. My wife over here staring at me sideways. What you looking at? You one of them?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay. I'm just checking. I just want to know. You understand? Anyway.
Sonia said she noticed that you're targeting the men. Sonia Stewart.
Sonia said I'm targeting the men. Sonia, this is for everybody. Because you know what? This actually... it applies across the board. It is a vice versa situation. It is because, you know, I don't want it to be misunderstood. There are ladies out here who are equally as aggressive and equally as thirsty as a lot of the men. So don't get it twisted. Now, I talk about these men mainly because I like to see a man that acts like a man, that handles his business, that stands up straight and act like he got some sense and don't be out here arguing with women and doing all this type of thing. So I'm harder on the guys because I like to see guys that actually got their stuff together. It's hard for me to respect a man that I don't view as a man. Unfortunately, there are many, but it is what it is. Ain't none of my business. So anyway, like I was saying, yes, we have those who are sharers among us in our community. These things, they happen. See, because what you have to remember is this. We are only a small cross-section of what America is. We're only a small cross-section in this dance community of what the world really is. See, a lot of people put their lives are rooted in this dance to a large degree, but let's face it, this dance is still secondary to whatever our proclivities are, to whatever our habits, our behaviors, and understandings are. We're still human, and if the dance was gone tomorrow, we'd still have these same proclivities. It's just that among us in this community, because it is such a close-knit community to a degree, we are more aware of certain things because of the people that we're closer to. Sharon Thompson McCoy said self-respect is the name of the game. Absolutely, Sharon. But let me add to that. One of the problems with something called self-respect is that it is relative. Something that you would consider disrespectful to yourself, others may not. The things that you would find repulsive, some others find inviting. So we have to understand that, again, everybody's normal is somewhat different. And in their normal world, the things that we may find distasteful are not to them. And Tony Anthony says some of these women are just as thirsty as the men, Brian. Yes, absolutely. I agree, Tony. You preaching to the choir right now, brother.
You had a woman chasing you down at
yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that on here though. Yeah, I had an incident at last Black and Bling, and my wife actually took a picture of it, and it's not good. Anyway,
Devin, I was trying to keep you going to beat the woman's ass, but
yeah, I needed a lifeline right then. Anyway, now you do have as well in the community. Wait a minute. Riri says, why would there not be swingers? All of us are part of this world. Ex-drug addiction, alcoholics, mental illness, of course. Of course, Riri, I agree. But you know what? The thing is, everybody doesn't think about these things. Everybody doesn't realize that some of this stuff is going on around them. This particular show is for the purpose of enlightenment, because I'm going to get on to something else here in just a few minutes that is probably going to piss off a few people. But it's okay. Because like I said, and when I read in the very beginning of this show, hit dogs holler, and I gave the definition and understanding of what that means clearly. Now, and the things that I'm on today, it doesn't apply to any specific gender. These things go across the board because we have women out there who have a crush on some guy, on some girls. We have guys out there who have a crush on somebody's wife. These things happen. Again, we're all human. This is life. This is what the world entails, even outside the dance community. So, what are you going to do? A warning to newer people in this dance. And then right now, I think what I'm going to say now has more to do with the women. Don't be one of those women who ends up in what we refer to in them streets as getting ran through. Oh, it can happen. It has happened. And people talk. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you do. I don't know. But don't be a victim. If you're just the type that like getting ran through, hey, knock yourself out. But for those who are concerned about that sort of thing, be mindful that there are predators within this community. The other thing that comes up when these sorts of things start to happen are the beefs that take place in the steppers community. Yeah. You get people who's at a set, their ex is there, and they're now dating somebody else, and, well, somebody's pissed off. I don't know if it's the new guy or the old guy. I don't know if it's the new girl or the old girl. Now you got beef. Now you got people looking at each other sideways, talking slick, passing remarks, that sort of thing. Oh, yeah, it's going on. It's happened, and it's going to continue to happen. These are the things that are taking place. And it makes me wonder, is dating at or within the steppers community like trying to date somebody at work? Like, my motto was always never take a crap where you eat. So if we know we're going to be on the stepper set, especially in Chicago, 5, 6, 7 nights a week, do we really need to be moving around in that community that freely? Or even if whatever city you live in, and you know that you're going to be on the set like that, do you really need to involve yourself? I mean, I guess you ain't getting paid, so it don't matter. I guess you could say we're not eating there, so you can do as you please, I suppose. Of course, I don't know. They might be eating, huh? Yeah. She said, see, you see what I got to put up with y'all now. Anyway. All right. So now this brings me to a very important point. Instructors who date their students. Instructors who date, screw, whatever you want to call it, their students. Now, this makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. Is that good ethics? Is that good business? Is that something that should be taking place? Okay, maybe it'll happen once, but then what happens when it happens again and again? Why do you do that?
Okay, Reggie Miles is a professor, and I taught 3 years in college.
Okay.
And if we slept with any of our students,
right, you're going to be reprimanded. Absolutely. And Reggie and my wife, both having been instructors on a college level, absolutely, you do not involve yourself with your students.
And some beautiful women.
What do they call it? Isn't there a name for that? They got a name for that. It has a name.
I remember it was in the book, but you automatically getting fired. And
okay.
Some of those students were nice listening to men,
right. And you're gonna have attractive people come through your class. You're gonna have women come through, bodies banging. You're gonna have guys come through, like, oh my God, he tall and he smell good. But what you shouldn't be doing is mixing your business with your pleasure. That's shitting where you eat. But I digress. Instructors. Could this be considered taking advantage of your students? Because, of course, you're in a superior position. That is your subordinate. They are looking to you for something, like many do in those sorts of environments. And would it be, or is it considered taking advantage of the people around you? Now, people may be thinking, that's something. But let's keep it 100, y'all. Oh, this is happening. This is happening a lot. A whole lot.
It's going to make them a better dancer.
I'm saying this to say, according to my wife, this is going to make them a better dancer. Don't listen to her. I'm saying this as a public service announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, particularly to the ladies, if you are fairly new in the Steppers community, do not allow the predatory ways of a person who is in authority or someone who is going to supposedly teach you to dance become a problem. And it's so easy for this to happen. I'm going to get into that. Okay. Do your homework about the people that you learn to dance from. Find out if they have a reputation. Find out if vet these people. Find out if these people have a reputation for doing such things. Reese Turner says your money will leave along with your name and dignity, reputation. And again, they would have never had the notoriety without the dance. Absolutely right. Absolutely. But think about this. Don't become a victim to a predator. I know y'all think that's harsh, but it's not. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to say this before I go any further. Some folks don't mind being victims. They live the life of a victim. This is what they choose. This is what they want to be. And they know full well what they're doing, but they will cry victim before it's all over. Tony Anthony, my man Brick, say, y'all better watch out for some of these perverted instructors. I've heard stories of instructors pulling out their private parts out on women. I've been told of instructors getting you in their cars, locking the doors, and doing the nasty in front of them. Oh boy, I'm not gonna say that part. I'm just leave it. So listen, y'all. When we listen to the news and other things, there's a word that we have heard in the past, and it mainly pertains to children. It's called grooming. Y'all know what grooming is? Grooming is when a person is being prepared like a lamb to the slaughter. And unfortunately, we have predators within the steppers community that double as instructors, and they easily, quickly, and effectively groom some of these students. The classic stages of grooming can roughly be summarized. Now you tell me if I'm off base, because I guarantee you I'm getting ready to show you. But you let me know now. Y'all let me know. Groomers target and profile their victims. I've seen this happen. I've seen instructors pick what I like to refer to as the weakest link to further their endeavors. What? See, you see what I got to deal with? This, she over here cringing. Why you cringing? What's wrong?
Nothing.
You sure?
I'm listening.
You sure?
Great conversation.
If it don't apply to you,
no, it doesn't.
Let it fly.
I was just wondering though, because
what?
Brick said something about the men. And I'm like, I guess this is where that other lady says kind of like a one-sided conversation.
No.
Because I can't see a woman instructor locking
Well, no. Well, you know what? Say, okay, hold on. Let me stop right there. Okay, now what she said was, she said this is a one-sided conversation because Reese Turner said most of the instructors are doubling as instructors also. Yeah, I agree with that. Look, so she said that this is a one-sided conversation because I'm dealing mainly with the men. Well, let's face it. First of all, although there are many female instructors, let's keep it 100. Let's just talk about what's real. Women they don't operate the way men operate, okay? Most women that are instructors, it's not off out of the realm of reality that they would sleep with their students. However, men function on a different level as it pertains to visual stuff and the way they approach situations. It's not to say that a female instructor don't want to sleep with a student, but they're gonna go about it a little differently. They're not going to be nearly as aggressive in that way. They have other ways. You know, women are graded. They be having black belts in passive aggressive kung flu. But what I'm saying is, in this particular case, yes, I'm going down this because most of the instructors where these types of problems arise are male. Not saying that women don't.
So as a woman getting a private, you might want to be really concerned to having somebody come to your hotel room when you go to these events.
Yes. Now my wife just made a very good point, and something that I hadn't even thought about. Ladies, when you're getting these privates, you're paying for a private. Be careful where you get your private. Literally. Be careful, unless that's just what you're into. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every instructor is going to do anything out of the way, but these are the possibilities. But again, if I was an instructor, the last thing I could see myself doing is messing up my money to try and do something stupid. That's just idiotic to me. Anyway, let me get back to this. Groomers target and profile their victims, which in most cases is going to be someone who is unaware, so to speak. They don't know that this person is looking at them and already know that they're the weak link. They already know that this person is a mark. That's what we call it in Chicago. Right before you get ready to get got, you're a mark. They know you're a mark. You don't know you're a mark, but they know you're a mark. And they deliberately use words and promises and actions to gain the victim's trust. So in other words, let's say they're trying to get you under their wing, so to speak. They'll tell you all the things you want to hear. And this doesn't just apply to the Steppin community now. I want you ladies in particular, pay attention, because I'm putting y'all up on game right now. Some of these men might even get mad at me, but I'm about to put you up on game. Because this is how men take advantage of women all the time. When they see you, and this is the smart guys. I'm not talking about them ding dong dudes that's running around out here that this way that think they smart. I'm not talking about them. They're going to profile you. They're going to target you. They're going to find out what makes you tick. And it doesn't take much for the trained guy, okay? If he's done it enough times, trust me, he knows exactly what he's looking for. Then he's going to tell you all the stuff you want to see and you want to hear. He's going to do a couple of things you want to see, and he's going to get your trust. Then they're going to identify whatever it is that you need, whatever you think you need, and in most cases in this dance, you need to dance. You want to dance. So they're going to tell you everything you need to hear, even if it's lies, because trust me, I have heard some zingers, okay? I have heard some stuff women told me that them instructors told them, like, wow, and you believed it, but they didn't have any choice. Why didn't they have any choice? Because they didn't know any better. They didn't have the history. They didn't know other people in the dance to that degree. There's a lot of people coming into this dance that are not, they're just being exposed to stepping for the first time. And when they get a hold, you got an instructor get a hold of these people, hey, man, they tell them anything. I've heard them. I've heard some crazy stuff out here. See, then after they've identified it, they then find out what I can do, what they can do to fill that void. Whatever it is that you're missing, they're going to fill it. See, now you already got your trust. Now they're giving you what you want. Oh, yeah, it's starting to feel good now. And next thing you know, you've been desensitized and your guards are down and they like, shoot, yeah, this is working for me. She thinks she got her one. All them women in that class, all them women at the stepper sets, but he like me. Whew. Pay attention. Then that's when they start to isolate you. That's when they get you away from your friends and they keep you to themselves. They keep you not out of the loop because you're going to be moving around among people. But what they do is they get it where they make you think you can't trust nobody but them. Yeah, don't believe nothing that other instructor tell you. I got you. Watch me. Pay attention to me. My nose wide open already. So guess what? Who's she going to pay attention to? She's going to pay attention to him. Yep. Now, once he got isolated, not only will he isolate her, he's going to make her a part of his game. Now, she's going to feel like it's him and her against the world. Guess what? Now she the one throwing the set for him. Oh, I'm going to throw a set and he going to do a workshop. Ooh-wee. You just got took. Because guess what? He needed to get paid. And he going to use your ass to do it. Next thing you know, not always, but most of the time, next thing you know, he tapping that ass. Sorry to be so vulgar. Simple as that. Next thing you know, bang. Now you caught up. You got your ass. Yep. But guess what? All he did was lock you down some more. Now you in. You all the way in. Now, it depends on what he was in it for. If he was in it to use you to break into a new market or whatever it is that his goal was after the sex, you just become expendable, believe it or not. And it doesn't even have to be about the sex. All it has to do is be about after he has gained what it was that he was attempting to gain, and you have just become expendable. Now, I want to see a show of hands. How many ladies have been used in this community? Because I happen to know for a fact there's several. I happen to know for a fact that a bunch of them have been ran through, groomed, and dumped. And ain't nobody seen them no more. So that's how come I know I'm not gonna see no show of hands, because they already done. They already out the community, because they never was in the community in the first place. Not really. Why? Because they were a mark. because they were the weakest link. But then again, there are some that are still walking around and they actually believe, well, they'll never tell anybody else what happened. But then once he's got control, then he begins to control the behaviors. And then he starts gaslighting and telling you crazy when you tell him why you doing me this way. What do you mean? I'm not doing nothing to you. What are you talking about? Gaslight this shit out. Just gaslight you. And all of a sudden you sitting around going, damn, got me. He used me. Yep. I guarantee you in every city in America, there's at least one, if not more. So let's get this. Let's break this down. The 6 stages of adult grooming. Targeting a victim. And just in case y'all didn't know, this damn near like pimping. Yeah, this pimping 101. What'd he say?
He said a lot of people don't know Chicago comes from a city of hustlers.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He said lots of people.
William Owens is absolutely right.
The land of max and players, hustlers, and they take it real serious.
That's right. Chicago is a land of max players and hustlers, and they take it real serious. But they ain't all from Chicago.
No, that's true.
Oh yeah, no, they ain't all from Chicago. It's just cats that done figured out. You dig? They know how to make this thing work. Again, pimping 101. 6 stages of adult grooming. Stage 1, target a victim. Boom. Gain their trust. Boom. Fill a need. Whatever it is. Boom. Gain access. Isolate. And then the sexual contact. Boom, dun, dun, dun. And last of all, maintain control. Maintain control over the situation and or the victim's behaviors. And then that's it. You caught. You stuck. Now, I said all of this to say this. People, be careful out here. There are a lot of charlatans among us. There are individuals who do not have your best interest at heart. They're more interested in their pockets. And they will use you, abuse you, and toss you away in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, be very wary of whom you decide to share your time, energy, and body with, period, in and out of the Steppers community. The things that I've just described don't necessarily apply strictly and only to Steppers. We're talking about real world stuff, okay? William Morris said, little do you know you macking right now. It's in your bloodline. Oh, I know, Will. Trust me. I know full well what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying is that I want people to just be aware. If this doesn't apply, let it fly. But then we know hit dogs do holler. So, ladies, watch yourself. I'm not telling you not to, get a cookies to whoever you want to give them to. I'm not saying that. But there is a thing in Steppin called etiquette and decorum. And we should all operate with some level of decorum within this community. If we intend to maintain this thing and allow it to continue to grow and be the beautiful thing that it is. Although some of this stuff is why Steppin is what it is anyway. But everybody don't want to get took to the cleaners. Not everybody. Some people willingly go. They will let you escort them down the primrose path to victimhood, and they're happy to do so. However, there are those who come into this dance with the absolute clarity that they want to learn this dance and they want to be a part of this wonderful community that we all love so much, and they don't want to be pimped out. And that includes the men, because there are some aggressive women in this community as well who do as they please and that's fine. I think I prefer the women who are more forthcoming about what they are and who they are, and they don't care about what others think. I think I have probably more respect for them than I do the ones that try to duck and dodge and hide. Same thing with the guys. I mean, let's face it. There are men in this community who have no shame in their game, and you know, most of the time, the women who deal with them, they know what they're dealing with. They can say they don't, but they know. So I guess being a victim is relative, and it's your choice as to whether you want to be a victim or you just want to dance. Hopefully, most people just want to dance and enjoy the company of others, the fellowship, the camaraderie. I love being able to go places, and I know that as long as we're all together and where there are steppers, if you have a problem or anything is happening, you're going to be taken care of. Because this steppers community is full of wonderful people, great resources, and just a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. Just it's everywhere. So hopefully we can not have to deal with too much of the negative stuff that goes on, too much of the crazy behaviors, and I don't want to say strange individuals, because we're all strange to some degree. But let's be mindful of one another. Let's respect each other. And then most of all, let's respect ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but we don't talk about this stuff. Nobody talks about sex and dating in the steppers community. It can be very precarious. All I say is use caution, use protection, and take care of your business. And then there's that. Anything else, I suppose, is up to the individual. So let me put this out there right quick. On Saturday, November the 6th, we are having my wife's birthday celebration here in San Antonio at Don Adolfo's. So for my local people that are within the Texas area, within my voice, and anybody else, if you just want to be here, please come. We will have DJ Stretch on the ones and twos, along with DJ Pam, myself, and DJ Mello. And we will also be hosting the Nike experience for a workshop that afternoon. That'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and the set starts at 1 and we go to 6. So it's a day set, y'all. And it's going to be off the chain like they always are. We have a fantastic time down here with our stepping sets, our day sets. So y'all get ready for that. And this Friday, to my San Antonio folks, I will be spinning at Noble Lounge for the Friday night stepper set. So y'all come on out, kick it with us. We're going to have a good time. I believe Mr. Ted Williams will also be in the building, along with Eric Gordon will be here this weekend, one of the Majestic Gents. So we will be kicking it in San Antonio real hard. We're going to go over to the Diva Ranch and hang out just a little bit. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all y'all for you always coming in on the back end. See, she's coming here November 6th. Don't forget November 6th. See? Anyway, that's what happens when you get up and leave. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for hanging out with me. This has been Inside Steppin'. I love y'all. I'm Brian Forbes, your host, and I will see you all again the following week on Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Come in tomorrow for the Black Factor, because I got a topic for y'all tomorrow that's going to ruin your childhood. I promise you. Come to the Black Factor tomorrow, y'all. I got one for you. If you don't know what the Black Factor is, don't forget. Oh, and for my YouTube people, don't forget to hit that those like buttons and those bells and all that stuff. The Black Factor tomorrow, y'all sign up over there at YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'm telling you now, watch the Black Factor tomorrow. I'm going to ruin your childhood. You're going to love it.
That's not nice.
No, you're going to love it. You're going to love how I ruin your childhood. It might make you mad. It may not. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, thank y'all. Everybody have yourselves a great night. I'm going to eat this chicken I got sitting over here. Peace out.